Hey everyone, I am going to be talking about this paper today. It is a pretty new paper and it has been made into notebooks by the shop Danica58 on Etsy, and I will have that linked below. So this paper is called B7 Tora-Next, and I do not think there is a more commercial name for that. To my knowledge, this has only been used in the printing industry, I think maybe for novels and in a thicker weight than this or a heavier weight. So I will put up screenshots of what the shop owner said about this paper, and the links that she provided I will also put in the description below in case you want to take a look at that. But they are all in Japanese and I haven't translated any of it, so it wasn't as helpful to me yet. But anyway, I'll just put it down in the description in case you want to dive into that a little bit more and translate it yourself. So for the sake of this video, I am just going to call this paper Tora-Next, and I will be comparing it to the Cosmo Airlight paper because I think it is most similar to that. So this paper for the Tora-Next, it does come in two different weights. It is available as a 71.5 and a 64.5. So I found that my initial impression was that they performed pretty much exactly the same. And as far as bleeding and ghosting, there was no bleed through. Ghosting is really negligible. So I thought, I had suggested that the shop owner go with the 64.5, the lighter weight, because I think we're all trying to get to the 52 GSM and try to find a really good alternative to the Tomoe River paper. And also the lightest weight for the Cosmo Airlight is 75 GSM. So I thought the 71.5 Tora-Next would be too similar. So the notebooks will be available in the lightest weight of the 64.5. So let's just do a close-up of these tests that I have done. All right, we'll do the 64.5 first. So for the Diamine Robert, that has that green sheen. It's the purple, and then it shows some green on there. I think it shows it beautifully. This was a pretty heavy lay down of ink, so it's coming off pretty dark. And then Organic Studio Nitrogen, which is that monster sheener, shows up amazingly well. The Emerald of Chivor has all of that gold, the gold shimmer, there it is. And then you can see the coppery red sheen that's on there. And then I have Robert Oster Melon Tea and then Golden Brown, but those laid down pretty heavy, so you can't see too much of the shading on it. But it's there. I love how crisp the inks look on this paper. One of the things I loved about the Cosmo Airlight is that the inks, there's a lot of contrast. So the inks all usually look like they're popping off the page and they have really nice crisp edges. And I find that exactly the same with the Tora-Next paper. So I have some Sailor Shikiori. This is that ink, but it is with the brush pen that they offer. And then I did some watercolor. I'm not a big watercolor person, so I'd be interested to know what those of you who love to watercolor think about this. So I just lettered with it, and then I put down a heavier wash, and you know, it's amazing. There was no moisture came through at all with this. And this is the thinner one, the 64.5. This, I don't know if anybody's interested in the 71, but it performs exactly the same. So lots of sheening, lots of shimmer, and there is definitely some shading on there. So yeah, this is beautiful paper with really dynamic inks. It will really bring out a lot of those qualities, just like the Cosmo Airlight. So I also did this comparison. So this is the 75 GSM Cosmo Airlight and then the 64.5 Tora-Next. So I used my dip pen with this because I have some pen maintenance to do and I don't have all these things inked up. So I wanted to also mention that this has a long dry time. The Tora-Next, I would say the same as the Cosmo Airlight. It's just gonna take a while. Ink is gonna sit on top, and just use blotter paper. So I have started with Noodler's 54th Massachusetts, and I usually use this as an indicator as to whether a paper is going to feather. You can kind of see there, the edges of the letters there's like a dark line. And I love that. I love when a paper will do that to my inks. And that is a big reason I really like the Cosmo Airlight, because the edges were really crisp. And I feel like the new Tomoe River paper, the edges are not as crisp and straight. It looks like it's feathering, but I know it's not. But I still don't like that look because it just makes me think like it's feathering. So I also have another Sailor Shikiori, Diamine Ancient Copper. They're mostly just shading inks, really. And then the dip pen, it just lays down such a thick line and a lot of ink. So some of these I doubled up so that you could see what it looked like with less ink on the paper. So these are all Birmingham Pen Company inks. And like you can see on the turquoise, on the heavy one, even on the bottom one, there's such a distinct line on the edges of all of the letters. And I just really, 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 really love that. And then as far as the ghosting and bleed through, there's none. And I even put my Sharpie marker on here. And as usual, there is no bleed through at all. And you just have your typical ghosting there. But I am very, very happy with this paper, with the Tora-Next. And if you like Cosmo Airlight, I have a feeling you're really gonna like this as well. It has the same sort of feel. It's kind of velvety, so it is gonna give you a little bit of that feedback. If you really like feedback, and I do, that is a big reason why I really love this paper as well. Like, aside from how the ink performs on here, I usually feel like when I'm writing on Tomoe River paper that my hand is just gonna glide right off the page, and I like to have a little feeling in there to know that I'm actually on the page. Like, I like to dig in a little bit. So the biggest difference here that you may have already noticed is that the Tora-Next is actually this pure white. The Cosmo Airlight looks white until you compare it to something that's actually white. So this is just a really light ivory color on the Cosmo, but the Tora-Next is actually full white. So if that's something that you were looking for, then definitely check out this paper. I think you're really gonna like it. So I will show you what is available on the shop. And she has started out, oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. She wanted to make them different than what she currently has available in the Cosmo Airlight, which is this craft paper cover. So I suggested a black, and so she picked this charcoal cover, and it has these really faint speckles on them, and they really look like, she said they looked like stars in the night sky, and like I totally agree. So the Tora-Next paper is currently available in these 3 sizes. This is A5 standard size and B6 slim. They are all 320 pages, and right now it is only available in the full grid, but she is thinking about the next run of these already and thinking about dot grid or whatever else you guys might suggest, whatever you want. So as far as pricing goes, these are going to be just slightly more expensive than the Cosmo Airlight, just because it's I don't know, it's a little harder to get to, and I think it performs a little bit better as well. So the B6 Slim is $29, and the standard and the A5 are each going to be $32. And as usual, if you have any other suggestions about the layouts that you would like, page counts or anything like that, please leave them below. And I am planning to, I think I'm actually going to get started in the A5 on a little project. So I'm excited to really dive in and use this as I would on a daily basis and really get a true feel of how this paper performs. But I'm excited to hear what you all think of it. Of course, let me know if you have any questions, and hopefully that was enough of a test for you. It's so hard to capture how the inks look and how they perform like on video. So hopefully that was helpful enough for you guys. If you want some maybe some close-up shots or something, I can probably post them in the community tab. I may go ahead and do that just so I can try to capture the details of this a little bit better. And then one last thing, those of you in my previous video where I talked about the Cosmo Airlight, you guys had suggested that you wanted A6. That was a really, really popular request. That is currently available in the Cosmo Airlight paper. It's already on the shop, and it's available in the 192 pages. So these are the smaller page count, and it is available in the dot grid, and it's available in lined. So I'm not sure what the millimeter is for this. I'll put it up on the screen. I'll double check that. But yeah, so you'll have these 2 paper layout options, and let us know what else you want next time. So your cute little A6s are available. These are just so adorable. So let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.